Hi everyone, today's video is going to help you as you work through quiz number 10. Just a reminder, there are visuals attached to this Flipgrid that you can use to help you as you round numbers to the nearest 10 and to the nearest 100. Let's take a look at number 2 together. Number 2 says, estimate the sum of 842 plus 89, rounding to the nearest 10. So in order to set up this question, we're going to stack our numbers. So 842 and 89, right? We want to make sure that we're lining up our ones digits and we're lining up our tens digits and lining up our hundreds digits. So remember, the sum is the answer when we add. So we need an addition symbol and our equal sign. I'm going to draw an arrow so that I can round my number and that I can tell that the number I rounded is over here. So I want to round 842 to the nearest 10. What that means is that I'm looking at the number in the tens digit and the number in the ones digit. I'm actually just ignoring my 800s right now. So I'm going to scoot this up, and I'm going to take out my blank number line. Again, you guys can print this from my Flipgrid, or you can just draw your own number line on a piece of paper. So right now, we're looking to round 42. So 42 is between what two groups of 10? Very good, it's between 40 and 50. So on my number line, I'm gonna label 40 and 50, whoops. Okay, because 42 is between my two tens. Then remember, my next step for rounding is to label the number that is directly in the middle of 40 and 50. Well, this is a group of 10. What is half of 10? Half of 10 is 5. So the halfway point between 40 and 50 is 45. Our next step for rounding to the nearest 10 is to plot the number that we are rounding to the nearest 10, okay? So I'm gonna plot 42, and remember, it's really 842. We're just not worrying about the hundreds right now. So I'm gonna plot 42 about here. Now help me decide, do you think 42 is closer to 40, so it rounds down to 40? Or do you think 42 is closer to 50, so it should round up to 50? Very good. It's very easy to see that 42 rounds down to 50. Remember, you always are also going to look at the number in your ones digit. If the number in your ones digit is less than 5, you're going to round down. So 42, right, comes before 45, so we round down. So on our paper right here, I have 842 rounds to, remember, it's still 800, and then 40, because 42 rounded down to 40. That was the nearest 10. Now we need to round 89. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take out my number line, going to erase it, or you guys can simply just draw a new one. Okay? We don't have any hundreds to worry about in 89, right? There's only a number or a digit in the tens and a digit in the ones. So what two tens is 89 between? Very good. 89 is between 80 and 90. So on your number line, you're going to label the two tens that 89 is between. 80 and 90. Halfway between 80 and 90 is 85. Very good. And whereabouts would 89 go? Would it go closer to 80 or closer to 90? It would go closer to 90, right? It's almost to 90. It's one less than 90. So it's pretty easy to tell that 89 is going to round up to 90. 89 rounded to the nearest 10 is 90. Now you are ready to add and find the sum of your rounded numbers. Let's just do this one together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 and 4 more is 13, right? So we put our 3 tens and we carry our 1 to our hundreds place, and 8 hundreds and 1 more hundred is 900s. So our sum is 930. So then when you go back to submit your quiz, you would find the answer that matches what you found on your paper. Remember, if your answer doesn't match any of the choices, you made a mistake somewhere along the line, and you'd have to go back and fix it. Okay, friends, let's take a look at number 3. Number 3, I'm really going to let you do a lot more independently since I really walked through that one with you and showed you, excuse me, all the steps that you need to do to solve. Okay, so this one says estimate the difference of 733 minus 602. Difference means the answer when you subtract. So 733 minus 602. Okay, you're going to draw your arrows so that you can write the number that you added right next to the original number. Remember, if I'm moving too quickly, please pause the video and give yourself time to catch up to me. So for this question, we are rounding to the nearest 100. So you either need to use the 100 side of your number line or draw a number line with hundreds on it. So 733 is between what two hundreds? 700 and 800. Very good. So here's 700 and here's 800. What comes halfway between 700 and 800? Well, let's think about it this way. Between 700 and 800 is 100. What is half of 100? Half of 100 is 50, right? But remember, this isn't just 100, it's 700 and 800. So we need a 7 in front of our 50. So 750 is halfway between 700 and 800. So you're going to plot 733 on your number line about where it would go. I would say probably about here would be a good guess. And then what do you think? Does 733 round all the way up to 800? Because remember, we're rounding to the nearest 100. Or is it closer and should it round down to 700? Very good. It's easy to see that 733 should round down to 700. That's the nearest 100. Also, remember our trick. 33 comes before 50. So that means we automatically round down. So on our chart up here, or on our paper up here, we're going to say that 733 rounds to 700. Excellent, very good. 602. I would, you know what, actually, let's just do this part together as well. So we're rounding 602 to the nearest 100. So 602 is between what two hundreds? It's between 600 and 700, right? You always look here, and that's the 100 that comes first. So we plot 600 and 700 on our lines. What comes halfway between 600 and 700? Very good, 650. Now we're going to plot 602 on our line. Very, very close to 600, right? I'm going to squeeze it in right here. So it's very easy to see that 602 is going to round down to 600. It's very close to that 100. So on my paper, I'm going to do 700 minus 600. And 7 minus 6 equals 1. Again, when you go to submit your quiz, look for your choices. A couple of mine got cut off here. You'll have 2 more. If your answer doesn't match one of the choices here, that means you made a mistake and you need to go back and check your work. Let's take a look at number 4 together. Okay, friends, I'm not going to walk you through each one because we just did 2 really good examples together. But this one says, estimate the sum, which means add, of 175 plus 729 to the nearest 100. So stack your numbers and round to the nearest 100. Remember, if you're rounding to the nearest 100, you're looking at the digits in the hundreds place. So you want to use the number line that looks like this. Pause the video. When you're ready, press play and we'll set up number 5. Okay, friends, great job. Let's take a look at number 5. Number 5 is going to ask you to do something similar. You're going to estimate the difference, which means subtract, of 589 and 364. But here they don't tell you whether they want you to round to the nearest 10 or the nearest 100. They want you to choose the best estimate. Well, the best estimate simply means round to the nearest 10. Okay? So I would like you to round 589 to the nearest 10. And remember, draw a number line or use the one I made for you. And then round 364 to the nearest 10 using your number line. Cover up your hundreds, right? Pretend that they're not there and then add them back in when it's time. Okay, friends, here are your steps for rounding. Pause the video and I'll set you up with number 6 when you press play. Okay, friends, great job working through number 5. Let's take a look at number 6 together. Number 6 is just like what we did for number 5, except you're adding this time. You're finding the sum of these two numbers, and you're finding the best estimate, which means you need to round to the nearest 10. Pause your video, stack your numbers, round, and find the sum or the answer when you add the two numbers. When you're ready, press play. Okay, friends, great job. This last one today is going to ask us to estimate the difference. Sum is the answer when we add, and difference is the answer when we, very good, subtract. So you're going to round 282 to the nearest 10, and you're going to round 59 to the nearest 10. Pause your video. Follow these steps using your number line, rounding to the nearest 10. And then when you're ready, find your answer. Don't forget, guys, to use all the work that you did with your paper and your pencil and go back into your quiz to choose the answers and submit it online so that Mr. Terry and I can take a look. Okay, guys, great job.